For many Filipino farmers, the El Nino phenomenon is a curse, but for salt makers it has become a blessing. Jocelyn, a salt farmer for 16 years, says the hot weather has allowed them to harvest 50 sacks of salt per day from their 6-hectare field. In good weather, salt farmers from Barangay Bay harvest an estimated 600 sacks of salt a day. But if it rains, even for just an hour, they could not fill even one sack with salt. Weather Bureau Pagasa says the El Nino phenomenon will be felt in the country for a few more months. It is expected to worsen as dry season nears. Pagasa's record shows that for the entire month of January, only 4.5 millimeters of rain fell on Misamis Oriental, less than 5% of the normal 98.9 millimeters of rainfall the province usually experiences without El Nino. Pagasa expects the weather to normalize in May. The Death Railway Museum, an institution founded to educate visitors about the World War II-era Burma Railway, was opened recently in conjunction with Myanmar's Independence Day. The museum is located at the site of the original railway in Tan Bu Zayat Township, Mon State. The Death Railway was built by the Army of the Japanese Empire in 1943 to support the Japanese war effort by connecting Rangoon or Yangon to Bangkok. Its construction was notorious for its reliance on forced labour drawn from both civilian communities in Thailand and Myanmar and allied prisoners of war. The museum is dedicated to the memories of the people who sacrificed their lives building the railway. Tun Mien Ko of Tan Bu Zayat Township Development Committee said the history of building the Death Railway will be showcased on the ground floor. Photos of the forced labourers and prisoners of war building the railway, their lives, their working condition and health condition at the camp will be on display on the first floor. The museum showcases historic photos documenting the Death Railway, as well as paintings, sculptures and 3D images of the daily life of the prisoners of war who died during the construction of the railway. Silicon statues of Japanese soldiers and prisoners of war are displayed outside the museum. Talamon Company Limited won the right to build the museum as well as a hotel, a restaurant and other tourist facilities on 4 acres of land in Tan Bu Zayat Township. Construction on the museum started in April 2015 and it costs 3.3 billion kyats. The museum offers tourists the opportunity to see a coal-fired CO522 engine which was used on the Death Railway. Visitors to the site can take a train ride on the 1-mile-long rail track that was not been used for more than 7 decades. Zorlin, Assistant Engineer 3 of Tan Bu Zayat Township, said the railway track is built in its original form with wooden sleepers. It starts from Tan Bu Zayat and ends at the pagoda, built by Japanese people. Visitors can see both the museum and the pagoda in one-stop service by train. The museum is also located in the vicinity of a cemetery in Tan Bu Zayat Township. The cemetery where thousands of victims of the Death Railway project were buried also attracts tourists. The opening of the museum aims to attract visitors from home and abroad. Locals hope the township tourism industry will see a boom due to this museum. Kin Yun from Tan Fu Zayat said the aim of this museum is very good. Back then, this place was filled with bitterness and it was known to the world. Tourists are very interested in this Death Railway linking Thailand and Myanmar. Tourists can see a lot of differences in the condition between the past and present. Now this place has become a peaceful and pleasant sight. The Japanese army forced more than 120,000 prisoners of war from various countries to construct the 175-mile Death Railway linking Tan Bu Zayat in Myanmar to Kanchanaburi, Thailand. The number of deaths as a result of the horrific working conditions, starvation, disease and execution are believed to be almost equal to the number of sleepers or wooden supports along the railway track, according to historical records. More than 16,000 prisoners of war died during the construction of the railway, or about 38 prisoners for every kilometre of the 415-kilometre track. Companies are finding it hard to fill vacancies for cybersecurity professionals, even as cyber attacks become more prevalent and complex. To groom workers with the right skills, some are sponsoring new staff for specialized training, while schools are taking steps like reviewing their curriculum. It took just 7 hours to hack into and access the door control function of a dam overseas. Fortunately, this wasn't a cyber attack, but an exercise conducted by Good Hackers Alliance, a partnership between two security groups. One of them, Singapore-based Athena Dynamics, says the incident shows the importance of shoring up cybersecurity. Demand for its services has gone up by 30% in the past year, but it finds it hard to get people with the right skills and can take 3 months or more to hire staff.
In energy plant, in water plant, or even in nuclear plant. So those areas, because they have systems that is very, very proprietary, and in order to actually understand it, the operation of the whole structure, it calls for a very deep dive kind of skill.
To get around this, the company hires IT graduates and sponsors them for cybersecurity courses. It also formed the alliance to better identify vulnerabilities and train staff.
This sort of collaboration with these partners, we will have access to real-life data, use-led problems that we can investigate. So it becomes a very timely and appropriate engagement, particularly for fast-evolving field like cybersecurity.
The university will continue to engage the industry and government agencies to work on potential problems. Similarly, Nanyang Polytechnic is exposing students to more complex topics.
Web services that terrorism will probably use. So because the internet is so big, there are some of the private darknet that are not explored by normal users.
The school has reviewed the curriculum for its diploma programs, with changes being rolled out this year.
Primarily for the engineering informatics diploma, what we have done is that we have created a cybersecurity focus track where students are able to select that track and specialize in that area.
The school hopes this will help more students pursue a career in cybersecurity after they graduate. Vietnam's The Beatles official fan club has welcomed the participation of over 2,000 members of all ages. The club was established in October 2013. Besides sharing stories and knowledge about the band via the internet, the club has also held regular meetings for Beatles fans to meet and sing their favorite songs together. Nguyen Huong Huong, head of the Beatles fan club in Vietnam, said the club aims to introduce the Beatles to youngsters and connect Vietnamese who share a love for the Beatles music. He hoped that one day we will realize the famous saying by John Lennon, "I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one." Quat Tuan An, a member of the Beatles fan club in Vietnam, thinks this is a useful activity for young people like him. He is so happy to join the events this year. Fans of the Beatles and John Lennon try to grasp all the chances to participate in shows performing their favorite music. This cafe shop has organized over 10 shows featuring music by the Beatles, attracting hundreds of people. Lee Min Quang, owner The Doors Cafe Hanoi, said the Beatles' music is suitable for everyone. He organized a show of the Beatles' music to pay tribute to the band while obviously entertaining the crowd. During the music show, over 20 songs were performed, from cheerful tunes during the band's early years to songs filled with profound emotions as they matured. An audience said they all sang along excitedly. Let It Be is a favorite. This clip features a pianist playing the song Imagine in front of Bataclan Theatre in Paris, the scene of the recent terrorist attack. A song written by John Lennon has spread the message of a strong hope for peace. As time goes by, the Beatles and John Lennon's music remains in the heart of peace and music lovers. Thailand and Malaysia's state railways recently launched their jointly operated shuttle train service between Hat Yai and the Malaysian town of Padang Besar in Perlis. The new line is aimed at the larger number of Thai and Malay cross-border commuters as well as international tourists needing transport between the two countries. Wutichat Kalyanamitra, Governor of the State Railway of Thailand, and his Malaysian counterpart Sarbini Tijan, President of Kereta Api Tanah Melayu Berhad, jointly inaugurated the new cross-border train service at the Hat Yai Railway Junction in Songkhla Province. The new transnational train service is a major step to support the ASEAN community. The ASEAN community has set a coordinated target and integration under three main pillars, namely political security, economic and socio-cultural. The train service facilitates the transport of cargo, travellers and workers between the neighbouring countries in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN. Sarbini Tijan hopes the strategic partnership will help to foster closer relations between Malaysia and Thailand and KTMB as the nation's sole rail service operator. KTMB offices have a good working relationship with the SRTO State Railway of Thailand and have known each other for more than 30 years. Two air-conditioned diesel trains with a capacity to carry 168 passengers each have been deployed for the service. It also connects with KTMB express train services from Padang Besar to other destinations in Malaysia like Butterworth, Ipoh and Kuala Lumpur. Passengers will undergo immigration procedures at the Padang Besar 1 station in Malaysia. The initial schedule will see 4 trips being operated on the 60-kilometre route daily with a fare of 80 baht or 9 ringgit, including that for the morning run, which departs at 7:30 a.m. and reaches the destination at 8:25 a.m.